King Louis XIV, the Sun King of France, and his dynasty. Picture a child ascending to the throne at just 5 years old, amidst political chaos and intrigue. This was Louis XIV, born in 1638. He was the miracle child of King Louis XIII and Queen Anne of Austria, following 23 years of childlessness and several miscarriages. His early reign set the stage for a life beyond imagination. The political turmoil of the Fronde, a series of noble uprisings, shaped young Louis. He learned that absolute control was essential to stability, laying the foundation for the Sun King's remarkable consolidation of power as France's longest reigning monarch. Following his father's death in 1643, the boy king inherited the throne, but true power rested in the hands of his mother, Queen Anne, who served as regent, and her advisor, Cardinal Mazarin. During this tumultuous period, known as the Fronde, which was 1648 to 1653, uprisings by the nobility and commoners alike tested the stability of the monarchy, leaving an indelible mark on the young king. These early experiences shaped his desire for absolute control and inspired his later mantra. L'État, c'est moi, am the state. At the age of 23, Louis XIV declared, "I am the state," and began his unprecedented reign of absolutism. He centralized all power under the monarchy, reducing the influence of nobles and solidifying his image as God's chosen ruler. France's destiny now rested solely in his hands. His title, the Sun King, symbolized his central role in both the court and kingdom. Much like the sun sustains life, Louis XIV believed the French monarchy sustained the nation. His radiance became the image of monarchy, an unparalleled mix of power, grandeur, and divine authority. Determined to display his glory, Louis transformed a modest hunting lodge into the breathtaking Palace of Versailles. No detail was spared. Golden halls, resplendent gardens, and grand fountains reflected his divine monarchy. Versailles embodied Louis's ambition, becoming both a royal residence and a tool of political control. By requiring nobles to reside at Versailles, Louis weakened their power while ensuring loyalty. The palace became the heart of French culture and political life, dazzling Europe with its opulent architecture and elaborate rituals, all carefully orchestrated to glorify the Sun King. Louis XIV wasn't just a ruler, he was a patron of the arts. He funded playwrights like Molière and musicians like Lully, positioning France as Europe's cultural capital. Under his reign, ballet, opera, and classical theatre flourished, creating an enduring legacy of artistic achievement. This cultural renaissance wasn't just for show, it reinforced his power. By equating France with refinement, elegance, and artistic mastery, Louis XIV secured his nation's and his own place in history. He used culture as a weapon to maintain dominance both at home and abroad. Louis XIV's reign wasn't all splendor. Driven by a desire for France's expansion and supremacy, he engaged in numerous wars, like the War of Spanish Succession and the Franco-Dutch War. Louis XIV married Maria Theresa of Spain, Marie-Thérèse d'Autriche, in 1660 as part of a political alliance between France and Spain. Maria Theresa was the daughter of King Philip IV of Spain. Despite her role as queen, their marriage was not particularly happy, as Louis XIV had numerous mistresses throughout his reign. Maria Theresa was known for her piety and humility. She gave birth to 6 children, but only one son survived to adulthood. Louis XIV had legitimate and illegitimate children. His legitimate child with Maria Theresa was Louis, Grand Dauphin, 1661 to 1711. He was the only legitimate child of Maria Theresa who survived to adulthood. As the heir to the throne, he was known as the Grand Dauphin. Despite his title, he predeceased his father, so he never became king. Louis XIV had many children with his mistresses, and he acknowledged several of them. Some of his most famous illegitimate children include Françoise Marie de Bourbon and Louis-Alexandre de Bourbon, among others, born to his mistress Madame de Montespan. Many of his illegitimate children were legitimized and given noble titles. While victories showcased his might, the prolonged conflicts drained France's treasury and sowed seeds of discontent. His ambitious military reforms modernized the French army, making it a formidable force. However, constant warfare left both the economy and his subjects burdened. The wars reflected both his determination to create a powerful France and his fatal flaw of overreaching. Behind the gilded walls of Versailles, scandals and heartbreak played out within Louis XIV's family. Despite his glorious image, his relationships were tumultuous. His legitimate heirs were plagued by misfortune, and his illegitimate children, though legitimized, faced obstacles of their own. The latter years of his reign were marked by grief. By the time of his death in 1715, after ruling for 72 years, he had outlived many of his children and grandchildren, leaving the throne to his great-grandson, Louis XV. The Sun King's dynasty faced uncertain prospects. Louis XIV's legacy is vast, a mix of triumphs and contradictions. He elevated France to unparalleled cultural heights, laid the groundwork for absolutism, and left behind one of the most iconic palaces in the world. Yet, his reign also sowed economic hardship and unrest that would erupt decades later during the French Revolution. His vision of monarchy as an all-encompassing institution remains both a symbol of ambition and a cautionary tale. The saga of King Louis XIV is a testament to the complexities of power, art, and legacy. Louis XIV's descendants played significant roles in European royal history. For example, his grandson, Philip V of Spain, became the first Bourbon monarch to rule Spain, founding a dynasty that endures to this day. Dive deeper into exploring France's royal history, share this video with fellow enthusiasts, and let the past illuminate your present understanding of the world. Louis XIV's reign is a study in contrast, splendor and hardship, cultural flourishing, and economic strain. His rule continues to captivate historians and inspire awe, as the era of the Sun King remains one of the most iconic chapters in European history. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the past. If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below about what part of today's story resonated with you the most or who you'd like me to cover next.